If you want all of your data in one place, you need the Intuit ERP. I'm Damon John, and I run my growing business on Intuit Enterprise Suite. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
What follows may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world is full of stories. Stories of mysteries, of curiosities, of oddities. Join Kat and Jethro Gilligan-Toth for the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected, as they lift the lid and cautiously peer inside the box of oddities.
So we lost the remote control to the TV set, and I ordered a second one, and sure enough, as soon as it showed up, we found the first one. But it's actually been a good thing because we've developed a bit of a competition between the two of us. This is what we do on the weekend.
So we, many years ago, discovered that we're both pretty dexterous with our feet. Is that the right? I mean, is that
I can
good
throw
English?
a golf ball with my feet.
Sure. So we started a contest to see who could bring up Netflix and choose a show faster.
Right. And whoever gets a program on first wins.
Yeah, I win.
And then we watch that show.
I won.
That's how we decide what we're going to watch.
So, you guys, I won.
Yeah. It's true, but you didn't really choose a show. You just wanted to win. You just hit the first thing you could find.
No.
And so we ended up having to watch, what the hell is that show?
Love is Blind.
Oh, God.
No, it's a show that I've wanted to watch.
So you weren't planning on watching this, but...
No, I most certainly was. I chose that show intentionally.
Well, I'll give you this. You've been committed to it. You watched 6 hours of it last night.
Yeah.
6 hours of it.
I mean, I won. So...
Fair is fair? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So Kat has faster feet. That's what we've learned.
I can't tell you all the times that I've said, I can't wait to watch that reality show, Love is Blind. And you just weren't listening.
Sure. You just hit the first show you could find because you had to win, regardless of what the show was. Enough of this tomfoolery. Tell me a story.
Okay, so... one of my favorite things to do is ask the lady of the house to tell me something that happened on this day in history.
Sure.
Well, August 21st, I asked what happened on this day in history, and oh boy, was I in for a treat. She started telling me about this thing, and I was like, what are you talking about, ma'am? So I looked it up, and here we go. Friday, August 21st, 1835. A small teaser notice appeared on the second page of the Sun Journal, and it was reportedly copied from the Edinburgh Current. The announcement read, "We have just learnt from an eminent publisher in this city, Edinburgh, that Sir John Herschel at the Cape of Good Hope has made some astronomical discoveries of the most wonderful description by means of an immense telescope of an entirely new principle." All right. They put in a newspaper notice saying, hey, we found something neat. And we're going to tell you about it coming up, right?
After this important message from one of our sponsors.
So August 25th rolls around. August 25th, 1835. The first in a series of 6 articles. The text occupied 3/4 of the front page of the Sun. The paper's editor wrote a short note on the second page explaining to his readers what he was presenting them with. We this morning commenced the publication of a series of extracts from the new supplement to the Edinburgh Journal of Science, which have been very politely furnished to us by a medical gentleman immediately from Scotland in consequence of a paragraph which appeared on Friday from the last Edinburgh Current.
I love the way they wrote back then.
Right? I really have to figure out what the heck he's talking about. Takes me a minute. The portion which we publish today is introductory to celestial discoveries of higher and more universal interest than any in any science yet known to the human race. The article stated that Herschel had created an immense new telescope so powerful it could be used to view astronomical objects with great clarity at previously unheard of magnifications. It was huge, measured 24 feet in diameter, and its true power lay in the fact that it had a second lens, which they called a hydro-oxygen microscope, that magnified and illuminated the objects being viewed, and then projected the telescopic images onto a canvas screen. So the problem with...
And this was the 1830s.
That's correct, yes.
Oh my God, okay.
So the problem with many distant objects is the losing of the light and becoming dimmer when magnified. So by adding the illumination to the telescopic image, the new hydro-oxygen microscope supposedly allowed for unreal magnification. The author of the narrative was said to be Dr. Andrew Grant, the traveling companion and assistant of Sir John Herschel. As Grant described it, Herschel had found evidence of life on the moon.
Okay, awesome.
The second day of articles described the moment when, January 10th, 1835, Herschel had first trained his telescope upon the moon. It was described as beautifully distinct and even vivid representation of rock. Shifting his view a little bit, he then perceived that the rock was profusely covered with a dark red flower.
Okay, he's really getting into the details here.
Oh, yeah.
He's selling this.
After moving the telescope just a smidge, Herschel saw herds of brown quadrupeds similar to bison.
Really?
He described it as being bluish lead color and also spotting a strange amphibious creature of a spherical form, which rolled with great velocity across the pebbly beach.
Wow. So, one of two things. He either discovered or invented a telescope that actually did amazing things, or he ate some mushrooms.
Tripping on shrooms, yeah.
He was tripping on the shroomage.
Yeah. All right. Day 3 of these articles. The third extract began with a description of more geological formations and plants. However, the highlight of this particular article was the discovery of the first sign of intelligent, though primitive, lunar life, a biped beaver. These extraordinary beavers walked on 2 feet and cradled their young in their arms.
Wow. A lunar beaver.
They lived. It's how you get the power of the moon.
Sure.
That's
sure.
It's actually something that they do, you know.
Is that right?
You go into the woods at a full moon, bend way over, expose that beehole. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So the biped beaver lived in huts constructed better than and higher than those, quote, of many tribes of human savages.
They were intelligent beavers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There were even signs of smoke above the huts that the beavers built, indicating that they had mastered the use of fire.
Really?
Yeah. Day 4. The scientists discovered human-like creatures living inside a ring of red hills that they dubbed the Ruby Coliseum. Unlike earthbound humans, though, these creatures were covered, except on the face, with short and glossy copper-colored hair, and had wings composed of thin membrane, like a bat. The faces of these creatures, Dr. Grant remarked, was a slight improvement upon that of a large orangutan.
Definitely shrooms.
Further observation of these creatures, whom Herschel dubbed the Vespertilio homo, or man-bat. Further observations revealed that they were rational, but the very proper Dr. Grant also noted that some of their amusements would but ill comport with our terrestrial notion of decorum. Apparently, the men-bats were humping out in the open, where they could be spotted by way of telescope. I'm sorry, oxygen, whatever telescope.
Yeah. What does this obviously fabricated story
How dare you? How dare you?
tell you about Herschel?
Well, we're getting there.
Okay.
Okay. In the 5th entry, Dr. Grant noted the discovery of an apparent abandoned temple built of polished sapphire. The roof was constructed out of yellow metal and fashioned to look like that of a mass of flames rising upward and licking at a large sphere of clouded copper.
Not the Beavers.
That's right.
Okay.
Different.
That's good.
Did the makers of this globe by this record any past calamity or predict any future on our own? But they decided that they would not indulge in speculative theories, however seductive to the imagination.
That is seductive.
Right?
To the imagination.
The lunar narrative concluded on Monday, August 31st. In the final article, there was a superior order of Vesperotillo Homo living in close proximity to the mysterious Sapphire Temple. And these new creatures were, quote, of a larger stature than the former specimens, and in every respect an improved variety of the race of bat people. While observing these creatures who spent their time collecting fruit, flying, bathing, and conversing, the astronomers took note that they had a universal state of amity among all classes of lunar creatures. They had built this kind of utopia on the moon.
Sure, you can hump out in the open.
Right. Isn't that utopia for us all?
That's what we're all striving toward.
They noted that the bat people were herbivores and did state that they couldn't remember having observed any carnivorous or ferocious species, though earlier in the articles they had mentioned birds catching fish. I guess those birds would be pescatarians.
Lunar pescatarian.
Yes, of course. The next day, though, the scientists reportedly returned to the telescope and were shocked to find that they had accidentally left the telescope's lens in a position where it had caught the sun's rays and it burned down a wall of the observatory. So they tried to fix it and recreate their results, but were unable to, unfortunately. So the moon and moon people were no longer visible.
Was this some sort of an elaborate 19th century insurance scam? Here's how the lab burned down. We were looking at bat people, and they were humping.
Yeah.
Out in the yard.
Yeah.
Over on the other side of the yard, there were beaver people roaming about.
Yeah, we suspect the beaver people. We know they had fires inside their huts.
Sure.
So they probably just burnt down the... Yeah. Grant then declined to say any more, explaining to his readers that they would find a more detailed account of the bat people in the upcoming publication of Dr. Herschel's authenticated natural history of the planet.
So this was like a viral marketing campaign for the guy's book.
The book never came to be.
Oh, it never did.
So, no. Anticipating that some people would find it difficult to buy into this story, Dr. Grant assured skeptics that a forthcoming volume would provide certificates from several Episcopal and other ministers who were, in the month of March, permitted, under stipulation of temporary secrecy, to visit the observatory and become eyewitnesses of the wonders that they would then be asked to attest to.
I see.
We didn't hear from those people.
Oh.
Ever.
So this just went away.
Well, it was reported that readership increased during these days of newspaper releases regarding the lunar revelations.
Okay.
Though a fire had swept through parts of downtown New York City, destroying the printing press at the New York Herald. And that was one of the biggest competitors of the Sun. And there had been riots going on in Baltimore, so a lot of people were anxious to get news about those. So it's very possible that the Sun readership only increased, if it did, because their competitor had seen a fire, which I think is really interesting. Suspicious much?
So your theory is that maybe they burned the competitor's machinery down, and then knowing that probably they're going to have new readership because of all this, that they concocted this story so that more people would stay with them. Or they were just all on shrooms.
There could have been a lot of shrooms. Maybe there was some ergot released into the air.
Yeah, maybe.
At some point. By the end of August, most of the other New York papers began reprinting the lunar narrative in response to their readers' intense interest about it. So word of the discovery quickly spread. Baltimore, Philadelphia, Boston. Within a month, it had crossed the Atlantic to Europe. It was a buzz. I'll tell you, it was buzzy.
But it's a great example of just like an echo chamber. They're just reporting stuff that was reported before.
That's right. Yes.
With no factual basis. Mm-hmm. Hey, these guys wrote about it, so it must be real.
A full month after the hoax had first seen the light of day, the New York Herald reported that the ingenious hoax is still making the rounds. So the Herald apparently fixed their fiery printing press and then was like, guys, this is ridiculous. Right, we can all agree this was a hoax, right? So with Herschel being such a widely known expert in astronomy, any discoveries attributed to him would carry an air of truth. But the fact was that he had no idea that his name was being used in this con at all.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He was initially amused by the hoax because he said that none of his own observations could ever be that exciting. However, he later became annoyed when he had to answer questions from people who believed that the hoax was real. And they would approach him asking for answers. And he's like, dude, I don't know. I didn't make this hoax up. There are no bad people. What are you talking about? The articles were most likely written by Richard Adams Locke, a Sun reporter educated at Cambridge University. Grant, the author noted in the publications, was not a real person. Who was not impressed by this hoax? Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay. Poe being the voice of reason is...
kind of problematic.
Yes.
Yeah. So he claimed that the story, beyond being redonk, was plagiarism of his earlier work called The Unparalleled Adventure of One Hans Pfaall, detailing a man who went to the moon in a hot air balloon. Poe's story was supposed to be a hoax. It was supposed to be released in multiple installments in newspapers as satire because people would buy into any bullshit that they read in the paper. So he wanted to release this story as like a ha ha ha, you guys are idiots. And this story, his editor was Richard Adams Locke, that Sun reporter.
Okay. All right.
In 1844, Edgar Allan Poe published a story reporting that balloonist Monk Mason had crossed the Atlantic in 3 days using a gas balloon. The story was a sensation, but was deflated 2 days later when it was revealed that his story was itself a hoax, and that he had written it and released it solely to burn the Sun and the editor of the balloon story, Richard Adams Locke. This is 9 years later. Edgar Allan Poe's
that's a
like,
long con.
Oh, I'm gonna get you.
That's a long,
I'm gonna get you.
Long con.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is the Great Moon Hoax.
Wow.
Most of this information came from the Saturday Evening Post, History.com, and Hoaxes.org.
Poe is such a little scamp.
Oh, super scamp, yeah.
Unreal. I love it.
But, I mean, he wasn't responsible for the Great Moon Hoax. He was just a little bitter that he wasn't responsible for the Great Moon Hoax.
Well, if you know anything about us, you know that we have weird eyeballs.
We sure do.
And so it's important to us, if we're going to have to wear glasses, to look good.
And you know me, I'm frugalicious. So I will sometimes put off buying new glasses because I don't want to pay for them. But that is not a problem anymore because of Zenni. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30.
And we have just ordered our Zenni glasses.
It was super easy. You go to Zenni.com, pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship right to your door.
And they start at under $30.
No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. You don't have to watch someone wait for you trying on glasses.
Over 150,000 five-star reviews. And if you've never bought glasses online before, Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly what your frame is going to look like on your face, or in my case, my big fat face. What I have found is that I can't wear the round frames. That makes my face look fatter. I wear the rectangular frames that are a little more oblong.
You look beautiful in anything that you put on your face, but Zenni sure does help. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time.
Go to zenni.com/podcast and use code podcast15 for 15% off your first order.
The styles do sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15.
And now, that thing in the middle.
Here are some weird fast food items from around the world. This according to BuzzFeed. Number 5, Burger King made mac and Cheetos. It was fried macaroni and cheese coated in Cheetos dust. I want some of that, please.
I don't know. Number 4, McDonald's Japan introduced the Gracoro burger in 2012. The patty consisted of breadcrumb crust that was stuffed with macaroni, shrimp, and white sauce.
So it's not really a burger.
No.
Okay, it's just on a bun. Number 3, KFC's Double Down Dog. It was introduced originally in the Philippines in 2015. The Double Down Dog was a hot dog, but instead of a bun, it was a bun-shaped piece of fried chicken. It also had bacon and cheese on it.
Number 2, KFC Indonesia decided to introduce in 2013 the cheese donut. Their standard donut topped with shredded Swiss and sprinkled on cheddar.
That's just wrong. And number 1 in Japan, at Burger King, the Premium Berry Burger. Yeah, it's a Whopper with fresh berries and cranberry sauce.
Meh.
It's a seasonal item. Season of horror and searing abdominal cramps.
The Box of Oddities with Kat and Jethro Gilligan-Toth. When all the other podcasts get together at a dinner party, we're the podcast that sits with our legs crossed by the fireplace and listens politely. This is The Box of Oddities.
Well, if you listened to last episode, you almost heard me get electrocuted by a lightning storm. Davey wrote, I was thinking about the lightning incident, and I think I figured out what happened.
Oh, okay.
Just to recap, we were recording, and as lightning struck nearby, a big ball of electricity appeared right in front of me, and I got a shock. It obviously didn't hurt me badly or destroy any of the equipment, but I felt it, and it lit the room up.
It was weird.
Davey says, it may be unlikely, but I think experts would agree. It was Robert the doll. Definitely Robert. You should send an apology letter immediately. What's really funny about that is, what did I say right after it happened?
Yeah.
I said, damn it was Robert the doll.
I thought we were going to have like an actual science moment here, but no.
No.
Robert the doll.
Typing my apology as we speak. I was looking at some old photos from one of our last trips to Ecuador. What was the name of that museum that we went to that was so bizarre and awesome?
The Extreme Art Museum?
Extreme Art Museum.
The Culturo Extremo, something like that.
Yeah. And it got me wondering if there were more museums like that in closer proximity to us. Sent me down a little bit of a rabbit hole. And so today I'm going to talk about really bizarre exhibits at museums around the world.
Ooh, fun.
We are museum geeks. And whenever we go to a museum, we gravitate toward the stranger, more unusual
For sure.
exhibits. At an Italian museum, there's a very strange exhibit. It involves a guy named Antonio Scarpa, and he lived between 1752 and 1832. He was an anatomist, a professor. He was recognized for his observations on structures of the ear and the nose. He was also credited as the first person to accurately depict the heart's nerves and show cardiac innervation. And he described the cellular structure of bone along with notes on bone growth and disease. He was quite well thought of as far as his abilities as an anatomist go. He was also very wealthy, kind of a dick. He was really arrogant.
Okay.
And was infamous for spreading rumors about his rivals.
Oh, nice.
He's one of those guys,
Yeah.
right? People fucking hated this guy. He was so disliked that marble statues that were erected in his memory were defaced.
Oh, yeah.
And after his death in 1832, his assistant performed an autopsy, removing his head, his thumb, his index finger, his urinary tract.
Oh, that just sounds perverse.
Yeah.
Like once you get to urinary tract, it's like, oh, okay, he wasn't doing research, was he?
Most of that stuff's missing except for Scarpa's head. It is now on display.
That was an anger autopsy.
And man, I got a picture of it, and ooh,
Oh, yeah?
he looks creepy as hell. Take a look at this.
Ooh, no, thank you.
No, you definitely would go there, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. In 1633, Galileo Galilei, he, of course, lived between 1564 and 1642. He was convicted of heresy for his support of heliocentrism. That's the observation that the Earth and the planets revolve around the sun. He was imprisoned for that for the rest of his life. After he died, Galileo was entombed in a very small, obscure room at the end of a hallway at the Basilica of Santa Croce in Tuscany. But in 1737, his remains were dug up in a ceremony during which 3 of his fingers from his right hand, a tooth, and vertebrae were removed. That doesn't sound like a very good ceremony to me.
No.
At least not for Galileo. He was then reburied in a more prominent marble tomb, but missing all of those pieces of his body. This was at the chapel of the Basilica.
Seems like a fair trade. Like you get a hotel upgrade, but...
They steal your luggage.
Yeah, yes.
Well, Galileo's middle finger is displayed in an egg-shaped glass container in the Galileo Museum in Florence. So centuries after his death, he's still giving people the finger.
Oh, wow.
So there is that.
So this is a list of weird exhibits that you can find at museums around the world. Are they mostly body parts?
Not all, most.
Okay.
But not all.
Okay.
Lazzaro Spallanzani. He died in 1799. He was a biologist and a physiologist. He made some pretty important contributions in the study of bodily functions, animal reproduction. His research of biogenesis helped disprove the concept of spontaneous generation, which is the belief that living organisms developed from non-living matter. And he paved the way for Louis Pasteur's research. When he died from bladder cancer in 1799 in Pavia, Italy, his bladder was removed by his colleagues so it could be studied. And it was publicly displayed in the museum in Pavia. In fact, it's the same museum as Scarpa's head, so we definitely have to go now.
So we can see the bladder and the head.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't imagine a bladder would look really good after this length of time.
A little closer to home, Thomas Alva Edison. He died in 1931, of course, the most prolific inventor in American history by far. Famous for his inventions, the phonograph, motion picture camera, the electric light bulb. He set up a laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey in 1876. He named it the Invention Factory.
I love that. It's so simple and goofy. See this place? This is where we do all of our work. It's incredible amount of brain power and innovation. It's incredible. It's the Invention Factory.
He was good friends with Henry Ford. Henry Ford kind of worshipped Edison, followed his career, worked with him as a chief engineer. Edison encouraged Ford's work on the gas-powered automobile. In fact, they both bought homes in Fort Myers, Florida, side by side, and they're both those homes are still part of the Edison Museum in Fort Myers, and that's a cool place to go to. In one of the rooms of his house, They have all the chairs lined around the wall because that's where he usually kept them, because he would hold square dances there. He would hold an Edison hoedown.
And while you're in Fort Myers, also check out a Red Sox spring training game.
As the story goes, Ford asked Thomas Edison's son Charles, when Edison was dying, to sit by the inventor's bedside.
I can't. The chairs are pressed up against the walls.
And hold test tubes next to his father's mouth to catch the final breath of Thomas Edison, so that he could reanimate Edison at a later time. There were 8 test tubes. One of the test tubes turned up in 1951 when the Henry Ford Museum received a lot of 100 items. After Henry Ford's wife, Clara, passed away, the museum staff found a letter from Charles Edison to a columnist that said that the test tube just happened to be in the room where Edison died, and that it was given to Henry Ford as a memento of Edison's life. So that test tube is now on display at the Henry Ford Museum, supposedly with the last breath of Thomas Edison inside.
Oh, wow.
You did an episode early on in the Box of Oddities about the Icelandic Penis Museum.
That's correct, yes.
They have a lot of interesting museums, apparently, in Iceland. The Iceland Museum of Sorcery, visitors can view a pair of necropants made out of the skin of a dead man.
Yeah.
The pants were made as a talisman to magically summon more money, but could only be fashioned after a dying man consented to be made into a pair of pants. Who would do that?
Who would consent to your body being made into pants?
Who would want to be made into a pair of pants?
Oh, I wouldn't mind being made into pants.
Really?
No.
Why?
Because I don't care. I'm dead. I literally do not care.
Anyway, moving along. Now, the Mutter Museum. We love the Mutter. But one of the stranger things there, and believe me, this is not the strangest. There are plenty of strange and interesting and morbid things at the Mutter Museum. But and I seem to remember seeing this. It's a necklace made out of genital warts.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's in a jar.
Yeah.
Just the thing to brighten up that little black dress.
Well, when I was a young person, I used to make necklaces out of Barbie heads. And
oh my God.
So this one, maybe a little more sticky than my necklace would have been. Still calls to me.
Barbie doll heads?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell the story about Richard Simmons?
Jab their eyeballs out and then...
Really? Well, you're weird.
Richard Simmons and Barbie doll heads?
Yeah, did I ever tell that story?
I don't know. I feel like yes.
Okay.
Because it's one of your stories.
Yeah, but I don't know if
So-
I've told it on the... If I did, it was a long time ago. I interviewed Richard Simmons once, and he told a story about how everybody in his neighborhood thought he was weird because he really liked the sound that the Barbie doll heads made when you pulled them off the doll. And so he would go around the neighborhood and pull the heads off of all the kids' Barbie dolls, and nobody knew what was going on. These headless Barbies would just show up in his neighborhood until his father one day opened a dresser drawer in Richard Simmons's bedroom, and it was full of Barbie doll heads.
So I think it's interesting that he decided to keep the heads. He didn't just remove the head from the body and then run off. It was, I'm taking this with me.
It's a souvenir.
Get your stripy tank top out of here. Or was it stripy shorts? I don't recall.
At Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum in Wisconsin, there is a really interesting exhibit. It's a severed head of Peter Curtin. I think I mentioned him briefly in an earlier episode. He was a 1930s German serial killer. He was called the Vampire of Dusseldorf.
Yes.
He was also called the King of Sexual Perverts. He killed indiscriminately. And he even engaged in cannibalism. He was arrested 5 different times before he was finally caught and put on trial. He confessed to committing up to 68 crimes, including 10 murders, 31 attempted murders. He reportedly drank the blood of his victims, and one time he drank so much of the blood he vomited.
I bet that's upsetting because you always want to be aware and cognizant
Of how much you drink?
Well, no, if there's blood in your vomit.
Oh, yeah. How do you tell?
Right? Like if you burst capillaries in that throat, you're not going to know because of all the blood.
He was sentenced to the guillotine after which his head was bisected. It was cut right down the middle from nose to the back of the head.
All right, so an eyeball on either side.
Right.
Got it.
And then it was mummified. And the head today is at Ripley's, believe it or not, in Wisconsin.
How many Ripley's museums are there? Do you know?
I don't know, but Wisconsin seems like a strange place for a Ripley's, doesn't it? I mean, I get San Francisco on the beach or Orlando, some place where there's a lot of attractions.
Have you ever been to Wisconsin?
No, I would love to go sometime, though.
All right, then. You don't know kind of weird shit they've got.
Have you ever been?
No.
Okay.
But I love those cheese curds.
Harvard owns a book that is bound with human skin.
Yes.
Yeah. One of its curators announced that tests on the book, The Destinies of Soul, which was published sometime in the 1880s, they have confirmed with 99.9% confidence that the book is indeed bound in human skin. It was sitting in the Houghton Library since the 1930s. And there was a note inside that said, it was in French, and translated, it said, "This book is bound in human skin parchment on which no ornament has been stamped to preserve its elegance." And up until recently, that was all they were going on. They hadn't done any tests. The rumor was, yes, it's human skin, but these tests that were done just a couple of years ago does confirm it's human skin.
So it was called The Destinies of the Soul?
Yeah.
If the book had been called The Destinies of the Skin, you would open it up and it just said, "This book."
In French. By looking at it, you can see the pores in the skin, and it's, once you know it's human, you go, yeah, okay, I get that. Also on the note, it said, "A book about the human soul deserves to have a human covering. Quote, I had kept this piece of human skin taken from the back of a woman. It is interesting to see the different aspects that change this skin according to the method of preparation to which it is subjected."
I think it's interesting that it says taken from a woman, but not like how it was taken.
It came from a female mental patient whose body went unclaimed after dying from a stroke. Ugh. I wonder if they've done any DNA testing on it to see if there's
like
anybody.
a Cheddar Man kind of situation.
Yeah, maybe there's a relative that would like the book back.
I don't know that that's the case.
Or the back book, if you so prefer. And in June of 2017, a piece of a saint's brain was recently stolen from the Basilica of St. John Bosco.
Oh, no.
In Italy. But they found it. They found it in a stew pot at a person's house.
Oh, man.
They were able, through fingerprints and shoe prints left behind at the scene of the crime, find a 42-year-old suspect with a history of priors living in a town north of the museum. They raided his apartment and found the holy gray matter relic in a copper kettle on the stove. But it was still in the jars and stuff. He wasn't cooking it. He was just hiding it.
That's a good hiding spot, I would think.
On the
kettle on the stove.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of in plain sight.
Sure. I got most of my information from Atlas Obscura, CNN, and National Geographic. So this just feeds my passion to go to museums even more. I want to go to museums all the time. I've compiled a list. I'm actually putting it in spreadsheet form, and you will comply. We'll see you next time.
Until then, keep flying that freak flag.
Fly it proudly, you beautiful freak.
And so, let it be known that the Box of Oddities belongs to you, and its fate is in your hands. The Box of Oddities commits to the telling of stories of the strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. We wish to offer our deeply felt gratitude and appreciation for your patronage. TheBoxOfOddities.com. Copyright 2026, all rights reserved.